Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lecture we are going to explain one of the major components of an advertising strategy. This component is about the selection of advertising media. In the process of selecting an appropriate advertising media which helps the company implement its advertising strategy, a company should make some important decisions. The first decision is regarding the reach, frequency, impact factor. We are going to talk about this later on in this lecture. The third step, or the third decision that advertising managers have to consider, is the selection of the appropriate vehicles, tools that will be used in order to implement the advertising strategy. The third decision that advertising managers need to make is concerning the media timing. When will the advertisement be announced? When are we going to start the advertising campaign? We will talk on these three decisions in this lecture today, inshallah. Before I talk about the three decisions, let's first highlight in this table that you are looking at. We are going to highlight some of the major media types that advertising managers tend to use. Of course, the most famous advertising media is the television, the medium. One of the most famous advertising medium is the television. In this case, these are all some vehicles. These are television, newspapers, direct mails, magazines, and all these things represent the medium that advertising managers can use in order to deliver their advertising message to the target audience. The most famous media type is the media vehicle, media type or tool is the television. Using television has many advantages for the company. For example, TVs cover a huge target market, because millions, but actually billions of people watch TVs daily, on a daily basis. Therefore, when we use TV as a medium of exchange, this means that the company would be able to reach millions and millions of people, of target customers. One of the other major advantages of TV is that it combines sight, sound, and motion. Yes, of course, we should all know that color, video, audio, moving pictures, all these are elements which attract customers and human beings more than just written material. Written material may be less attractive than other medium. Okay. However, using TVs has also some disadvantages. For example, the high absolute cost. Advertising using TV is a very expensive choice, especially when the company targets famous TV channels. Another disadvantage of using a TV is the less audience selectivity. Yes, you cannot, your advertisement, the advertisement you are delivering through a TV will reach all people without any sort of distinguishing between target customers and non-target customers. you can take a look at all other tools that advertising managers can use. Take a look at the advantages and limitations and try to compare between each type. It's a very easy topic. Okay, let's move to our subject. The selection of a advertising media. When advertising managers attempt to select a specific medium, they have to think or consider three major elements. Reach. Reach is a measure of the percentage of people in the target market who are exposed to the ad campaign during a given period of time. In other words, advertising managers have to think carefully about the quantity of customers, the number of customers that the advertisement targets. Another key element that advertising managers need to think about when selecting a specific advertising medium is the frequency with which the average person in the target market is exposed to the message. In other words, advertising managers need to think about the number of times that the same advertisement will be delivered during a specific period of time. The third element that advertisers need to take a look at or need to carefully evaluate is the impact with which the chosen message is needed. In other words, how are we going to impact? How are we going to influence? How are we going to cause a specific influence, a specific impact on the mind of our target customers? Here it is very important to consider those three elements: the reach, the percentage of customers that we need to target, the frequency, the number of times that the same advertisement message will be delivered to the same target market, and the impact. It represents the qualitative value, the value that we wish to transfer, the value that we wish to deliver, the benefits and values that we aim to talk and communicate with our customers about. Another key element during the selection process of an advertising medium is the appropriate selection of the media vehicles. What kind of medium are you going to use? Are you going to use TVs, radios, newspapers? I have already discussed the advantages and limitations of using TVs, and you can go back and take a look at the advantages and disadvantages of other medium. Whatever the medium you are going to choose, then the advertising managers have to think about the effectiveness and the impact, the influence, the effect that the vehicle or the type of the medium used it will deliver, the impact of the media vehicle and the effectiveness. Advertising managers have to think. If advertising managers think about choosing more than one medium, then they have to consider the way this medium will be used in an effective, creative, and impactful way. Advertising managers may adopt one of two approaches while selecting advertising media. One approach of selection is called narrow casting. This approach focuses the message on selected market segments. It is derived from the term narrow, ضيق, محدود. narrow casting يعني ايه؟ الدعاية المحدودة. narrow casting. This narrow casting approach is cost-efficient approach. If you want to, if the company, if the client, if our client wants to reach the largest possible number of customers using a cost-effective method, then narrow casting is an appropriate advertising media selection process. It helps marketing managers target customers more effectively, cheaply, and engages customers better because it focuses on a small segments of customers, so that we deliver the value required, deliver the benefits, the company communicates its benefits, the benefits and values associated with its brand and product to the customers who are relevant, whose needs and wants are strongly relevant and related to the product the company delivers. Of course, when selecting specific media vehicles, the planner must consider some important issues, such as the cost of the media as compared to its effectiveness. Sometimes a TV channel or TV advertising may not be as effective as other methods for a specific company. For example, a pharmaceutical which is specialized in providing drugs for a specific disease may not find TV advertising as effective as salespeople advertising, for example, using sales representatives. The use of sales representatives may be more effective for pharmaceuticals than using TV channels, TV advertising. Therefore, marketing managers and advertisers have to compare between the costs and benefits of using every vehicle. Another point of consideration that advertising managers have to make a decision about is the media timing. Sometimes the product that needs to be advertised is a seasonal product. In other words, a seasonal product is one which is sold only or needed only in a specific period of time, in a specific season, such as ice cream, for example. Ice cream may be needed more in the summer than in the winter. Therefore, it is argued that ice cream, for example, is a seasonal product. Therefore, seasonal products may require only seasonal type of advertisement. Therefore, advertisers have to carefully think about the seasonality dimension of product demand. Another point of consideration, if we are talking about the right timing of making an advertisement, is the pattern of the advertising, the pattern of the advertisement process. Are we going to schedule our advertisement to be advertised, announced every day for a specific period of time, or every week, once a week, twice a week, every day for a month, and so on? Some companies actually apply a continuous method. This method of advertisement may last for years and years. Actually, I read before that the longest advertisement that has been advertised on a specific newspaper location for a specific period was for about 100 years. Some companies may not choose the continuous pattern of advertising. They may choose the pulsive pattern of advertising. The pulsive pattern of advertising means that the advertising managers schedule unevenly within a given period. In other words, they may focus their advertisement on a specific month, on the first month, and lower the frequency of advertising in consequent months. Another major aspect of advertising strategy is to evaluate the effectiveness of the advertising process. In other words, advertising managers need to find measures which enable them to evaluate whether their advertising campaign was effective or not, whether the advertising strategy has achieved the company's advertising objectives. There are two types of evaluation that advertising managers may use. For example, one of them, namely, is communication effects, and the second is sales and profit effects. Communication effects here indicates whether the ad and media are communicating the message well and be tested before or after the ad runs. In this sense, advertising effectiveness and advertisement effectiveness is measured only by the quality with which the message has been transmitted to customers. In this sense, advertising managers may conduct some interviews with target customers and ask them about the quality of the message. Have they understood the message? Was the message delivered in a creative way? And so on. So, advertising effectiveness in this context is measured using only an aspect of the quality of the message being delivered. The quality of the message being delivered. Has the message been delivered in a quality manner, in a good and an effective creative manner, or not? Another way of evaluating advertising efficiency or effectiveness, is through analyzing the sales and profit effects. In this approach, advertising managers may compare past sales and profits with past expenditures or through experiments. This is a very difficult approach, by the way, because sometimes there are many interfering variables which might confuse advertisers, and such things such effects, intervening effects, may not allow advertising managers to distinguish the effect of advertising on customers or on sales from other variables, from other intervening variables. Okay. And so on. There are some other advertising considerations that advertising managers have to take a look at and consider effectively. For example, how will the company organize its advertising function? This is a structural perspective. In this structural perspective, it is an organizing perspective and a structural perspective. In this perspective, advertising, or the company itself, top management, should ask itself one important question. How are we going to perform? How are we going to perform advertising? Are we going to establish an independent organizational department which is only concerned with advertising? Or are we going to ask the marketing management department to conduct advertising? Some companies may wish to have an independent department of advertising. Some other organizations merge the advertising activities with the activities of marketing management. Another key question that organizations have to answer is regarding the international markets? Will our company, or will the company, adapt its advertising strategies to international markets, or will the company develop a different advertising strategy for every target country? This is a very important question which has tremendous cost-related effects. Therefore, management have to think thoroughly about the costs and benefits of using a standardized versus customized advertising strategy. Oh, by the way, when we talk about the structural perspective of advertising, some companies may not have enough resources, capabilities to establish independent advertising departments. In this case, such companies may depend on advertising agencies, وكالات الإعلان. The company may here focus on internally establishing effective marketing strategies and allow outside advertising agencies to adapt to the company's strategy and help the company make its own advertisements. This may be a cost-effective way because the company focuses on the things it does better and asks other professional agencies to serve its needs.